Light can be defined as a package of energy which had properties of massless particle and can travel in vacuum space through electromagnetic radiation. While moving in this state, light also can act like wave, which means it had waves properties such as wavelengths. This helps us to categorize the light by its wavelengths. But actually, there are no definite boundaries between each type's wavelengths.
We can't always think light as a wave. It depends on the circumstance. First, we must take account of light properties and our tools properties which we use to observe light.
When we want to observe light with geometrical optics, we model the light as rays, which its propagation is straight line. So we use Fermat's principle of least time in our analysis. Fermat's principle of least time said that when light travels from one point to another, it always chooses the path that has the least time. Take a look at this picture. When light reflected from A to B through mirror, we can know which point that light will take. First, imagine point B accent, pointing inside the mirror. Then, we draw the straight line from A to B accent, and we get point C. It's the point that the light will take. So, the path with least time is A, C, B. From that figure, we get the relation of light's incoming angle and light's reflection angle, which is... Now, in lens, take a look at this picture. When the light goes straight from A to B, there will be a delay of time. So the time that the light takes from A to B is the same when it takes the other path. To help us understand the behavior of light rays, we use mathematical tools. Take a look at this figure. When the angle is small, we get... Now we start talking about light rays behavior. Take a look at this figure. Suppose we have a single refracting surface, separating two medias with different refraction indices. The speed at the left side is v, and at the right side surface, v over n. According to Fermat's principle of least time, the time needed for the ray which takes path O, Q, O accent must be same with the ray which takes path O, P, O accent. Solving the equation we can use that equation for mirror as well. Note for mirror that n1 equals 1 and n2 equals minus 1. Because the speed of light reflected is same, but with different in direction, so we got n2 is negative. If s equals to infinite, then we understand that 1. Light coming parallel to the axis will be refracted towards the focus. 2. Light coming through the focus will be refracted parallel to the axis. The equation also can be written as... Now, if the surface has a thickness, we need to use equation 27.3 for the two surfaces individually. Suppose if the light comes from medium with refraction indices n1 and the lens have refraction indices n2. After we got the value of s accent, we analyze the second surface. Solving the equation, we get...
If there are a system of lens and the light coming from and going to the same medium, we obtain that this system of lens is equivalent with thin lens. We can create an equivalent thin lens with two surfaces to ease our analysis, rather than calculate the light come into the first surface and then the second surface manually. These two surfaces are called principal planes. Take a look at this picture. If we have an object with height y, the image formed according to the figure using geometry relation we can get. Now I will explain the solving power. Take a look at this figure. If I have two objects with the close distance, suppose at point P and P accent, then how much apart must they be so that we can see them as different images? Or see them as two different images, then the time must be different between these two rays from the object. The difference between extreme rays from object P accent must exist a certain amount so that it won't create an image at point P, which is nu is the frequency of the light, taking the extreme rays at point S and M. T1 equal to P accent as P. T2 equal to P accent Ft if the refraction index at a point P is n and at point T is n accent. Solving the problem with geometry, we get that we can define SO minus SO accent as the minimal distance between objects. Now we obtain the relation for the resulting power. Note that n and sin theta is a factor from the length that we can call numerical operator and A equal to n sin theta. So, by using the reciprocal relation, if we have one object and the time difference is more than 1 per frequency, then the lengths have aberration.
Now let's talk about the light as electromagnetic radiation. According to the Coulomb's law, the electric field produced by a charge is...
And from Euler's function, we can derive the function S. Now if we have to write A1 and A2 with, from superposition law we can find the length of R or AR by multiplying R with its conjugate to obtain the square of the length. From this, we can conclude that the phenomenon of interference is the third term of this equation. Now suppose we have two different wave sources as this figure shows. Then we got the equation of interference S, and we got the relation of amplitudes, phase, and wavelengths with interference.